So I'm going to make a risotto with the morels. I'm going to use these big gnarly ones that we picked. I'm going to use some wild garlic, naturally. Somerset pecorino, which is made by the White Lake Cheese Company. Fantastic cheese. A good replacement for Parmesan. And I'll let you into a little secret, a little larder secret. So I use these a lot. These are Italian porcini stock cubes, which for risottos and things are perfect. So I've had this on the go for about 5 minutes, adding small amounts of the porcini stock. Lots, garlic in risottos. These sea leeks, which we've been harvesting, have got a very mild garlicky flavour. So I'm going to add these halfway through cooking. Now give it a lovely oniony flavour with a little hint of garlic. So these are so abundant at the moment. Now with these morels, what I'm going to do is these big old stalks. Quite often when you buy morels, have been imported or whatever, you don't get these big stalks. So they normally trim them off for, I suppose, weight and whatever. But what I'm going to do with the stalk, I'm going to cut those up and put them into the risotto. So such a rare find, these things. I think the dried ones, the problem with the dried ones is I was sort of brought up on dried morels working in London kitchens. The problem with the dried ones, they've got a very intense flavour, but the texture is nothing like a fresh morel. And the chopped morels in there, you can just see that. The stalks, that's going to keep cooking. And then we've finished the risotto with lots of butter and some grated pecorino. Lovely. Those going to be a good risotto, this. Now I'm going to put them in the pan. Beautiful cheese. Beautiful cheese. Yeah, the White Lake cheese makers, they make some fantastic cheeses. A lot of them are Italian-esque. Now you can save this rind. You don't need to throw it away. Often people put it in a ragu sauce. So maybe keep a little bag of it in the freezer. So the secret when you're making a risotto is the finishing of it. So a good stock, carnaroli rice. You can use arborio if you can't get carnaroli, but carnaroli is a bit better. But the stock, the strength of the stock is really important. Don't even think about making a risotto if you haven't got a good strong stock. So if you're making a squash risotto, make a nice strong squash stock. If you're making a seafood risotto, make sure you've got a nice sort of shellfishy stock, good fish stock. So from start to finish, a risotto, probably 20 minutes. And then we're going to grate the rest. So the cheese helps to give it a nice texture as well. That garlic, I'm just going to wilt. And we're ready to go. Doesn't need much cooking at all. Garlic. Now the consistency of the risotto shouldn't be stodgy and shouldn't be too wet. So by the time you've finished the risotto and added all the butter, it should be nice consistency, silky. The butter, you have to add quite a bit of butter to a risotto. That's maybe 60 grams or something. But that's going to help the finish. So this bit now is crucial. Seasoning, getting the right consistency. And the stock needs to be added in, say, 5 or 6 amounts, really. In with the butter. Some people say, oh, that's a lot of butter, but it's not a lot of butter for a risotto. Finishing a risotto is butter. And that gives it that lovely silky texture at the end. Some people add wine to risottos, you can do, but I'm a big fan of having quite sort of natural flavours. Definitely worth a trip to White Lake in Somerset. Just up the road, you've got Buffalicious buffalo mozzarella. Friend John makes probably the best mozzarella, very small production in the country. Okay, that's ready to go, I reckon. So that's the consistency, not stodgy, silky, soft. So when you've had the last mouthful, that's when it should still be nice and soft. Okay, Morel and wild garlic risotto.